have you all been thinking about from the district procuring funds standpoint? And what does that look like? And what challenges have you met? And how have you been thinking about sort of the cost structure?
I can start. Our board liked the idea of our paraprofessional having some skin in the game, if you will. We cover about 70% of the cost, and the employee covers about 30%. But again, that 30% for the employee is the maximum amount because we have local scholarships that can help towards that, as well as some of the things that Jason just talked about. And in return, then they will work for us for 3 years after they finish. And so we obviously, have a contract that was drawn up by our attorneys that says, if you don't finish the program, you owe this much back. If you don't teach for us for the X number of years, this is what you owe. So we've kind of worked that all out with our attorneys, and that seems to be working so far. I actually just presented to our board last week because I mentioned the other types of employees that came out of the woodwork. So I've asked for an additional pot of money each year, as opposed to as Shannon said, they went with 10 or 12. We went with 4 or 5 first, saying, hey, give me $50,000 every year. Let me help some of our staff get their associates. Let me help some through Bloom Board get this degree, and then let me help those who have a bachelor's already potentially look at the master's program for Bloom Board. So we've expanded that a little bit and said, let's get a bigger pot of money and be able to see if we can help all of these individuals, obviously at a cap. But
here in Madison, what we did was the board, again, to kind of talk to what Sara just said, they were all on board. They were all in, and we wanted to use it as a marketing recruitment tool as well. And we did. So we wanted to do that in such a way that we had money set aside from kind of that lapsed salary thing that you just went through, and some professional development, that money that we hadn't used, that we could put towards those 10 slots. So we're willing to pay the entire cost of the program for those 10 individuals, with the caveat, of course, that they're going to and sign agreement with us that after they're finished, they will stay with Madison Schools for at least 5 years, which I think is very fair, right? So, and so do they. Not one of them. I didn't have one issue with one person not wanting to do that. They were super excited for the opportunity. So kind of going forward, looking at, yes, how much are we going to put aside each year to kind of continue it and hopefully grow it, right? So excited to, again, hear more about opportunities that may be coming our way as far as additional funding so we can get some more people involved.
Yeah, and in Hernando, I think I already mentioned that we pay for 100% over whatever their financial aid does not, so they don't contribute anything to it. And similarly, we have a contract that they sign, and they have to work for us for 4 years after, or it's prorated for every year you don't work. You have to pay us back so much based on what we paid. Again, like you've said, no one has balked at that. And if they do, then they probably shouldn't, be in the program anyway, because that's not a good chance. I mean, we've had a couple that said, that have decided along the way, yeah, I don't think I can do a 6-year, commitment from the 2 years of college and then the 4 years. And so they just don't, enter. And that's okay, because next year, if they feel differently about it, they can apply then. And if not, it's best that they didn't, for everyone involved, our kids and them and everyone. Jason will recall, and we've talked about this in some other times that we've talked, is that, when we were first starting, he in Jason's way, he says, so how many associate teachers do you think you'll get the first year? And I said, if I could get 5, I think I would be I would be completely ecstatic if I could get 5 in the first cohort. And we'll have probably about 25 or maybe 30 by the end of the year. So it's been going great. I mean, I don't know what else to say. There really isn't a catch.